Good morning. This is Frank with the Morning Quick Shot brought to you by Trade Stockers and NINZA Pro Traders. It's Wednesday, July 13th, about 7:37 Central Standard Time. Let's take a look at the market for the next 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll see targets to the upside, targets to the downside, possible areas of consolidation, and a little bit of market profile so we don't lose sight of the big picture. As you see, yesterday's move here is a recap throw off of 38.25 and then drove straight up into that 49 level. And we consolidated for 3 or 4 hours yesterday, and then kind of worked its way back down. And where we actually closed as pretty much to the open yesterday at 45.75, kind of a little bit dropped down right below 24-hour VWAP. We held with good support right here at 21.42, right off this previous structure over here, and then it just kind of slowly worked its way up last night, and then finally took off. And here we are this morning. We broke the overnight high just a few minutes ago. We're at 21.50 and climbing, and we'll see where we go from here. So let's take a look at the upside since we're there. We're above the 24-hour VWAP. We just broke this zone here at the 48 level, and we've climbed above here. So now what we want to do, this is a good entry for a trend trader to take, looking for first targets at 52 this morning. Look, when it gets up to this 52 level, look for a little bit of a pullback, maybe even all the way back to here, depending on what news this morning. Oil inventories at 9:30, so be cautious of that Central Time. 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time for oil inventories. Run right up into this area right in here, and then after it pulls back, we should pull back into this area right here, and then drive straight up through this zone, probably to about the 55 area. Look for this pullback, retest this area. It's important we hold this, otherwise we fall all the way back into here. So we hold this area right here, then look for the drive up to this market profile at 58.12. We'll talk about that in a minute, why that's significant. Look for a pullback into this zone, possibly even all the way back into this open or this zone and then down into this open. So be cautious of this 58 look here. So as we drive up, we got possible targets of 62 later today as well, and also up to 68. So it's not likely we're going to get all the way up there today, but those are the targets to the upside. Key point for me today is the 58 level as we hit the 121 extension Fibonacci. So let's take a look. What if we go to the downside? What if we hit this first zone or up there and we drive all the way back down? One, wait for a close below the 24-hour VWAP if it follows it up into this area, and then wait for the test of this zone and it bounce up and retest this 24-hour VWAP wherever it hits. Wait for it to come down, retest the 24. There's your short entry for aggressive counter trend, or wait for it to close all the way below this zone. Get it closed below 47.50, then look for first zone targets in the 44. After that, look for it to come back up and retest the opening and the 24 weave up again, mainly the open, and then drive straight down to overnight low of 42. Then look for the retracer probably right back into the long mode if it did come all the way down to this area as we double bottomed of the overnight low. Let's see if we get this chart to come up this morning again. After we test here, if we are going to continue down after the retest of the low, we should hit this 43 and then go straight down to this level. Look for a double bottom here around the 38, 25 area. This is more than likely a low for today unless the oil news is really, really bad. Off this bounces when we drove right back into the up scenario, driving ourselves all the way back up again. However, if oil is bad, keep an eye look on it. Look for us to drop down and test this 34, and this would be the bottom today as well. And look for a good reversal off of here. All right, things that really have to get ugly to drop down into this zone, into this 29 zone. Don't think that'll happen today. More than likely, we're looking to the upside and get some consolidation during the day, probably in this zone up in here at 53 all the way down into here. So be cautious with that. So let's take a look at the market profile for just a second. Bring up the chart. And as you can see, we're still running the sum numbers. This number right here, this 58, first target for Fibonacci. So you can forget about everything else this morning if you're a swing or long-term trader. Get your trades in first thing this morning as it's breaking. First target will be at 58. Look for a pullback. Now this is where it could get ugly. This pullback could come all the way back here to this 36, 34 level and test it, and it bounce right up and it come right back and look for double top here for our consolidation areas over the next day or so, including today. And if we could get above this 27 here, this 2158, Look for a move up to the 41. This is actually a secondary look. Our final target over the next day or so is this 2206. Not going to happen for a while, guys. But that is the next target up into there. So we'll start establishing some new Fibonacci's on a pullback, and we'll have better targets for you as we go up to there. If you have any questions, contact Frank at Trade Stalkers, and have a great day.